Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of a failed, foiled assassination attempt, terrorist attack attempt on UFC 250, originating in Cincinnati, perhaps? My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Tuesday, June 16, 2026, and this right here, the thing that you are watching, it's called the TNAM Daily Show, larger. The TNAM Daily Show here on the new American media. Because the old American media has failed you. Thank you very much for joining. Here, let's put it on the screen there. There we go. On today's program, do we have deals? Well, do we have deal details? Let's say that. Deal details in place with Iran. I'll tell you about it. Is a cyclone about to hit the Gulf of America in the southern United States? Things are flooding and it's getting a little rough. So we're going to need all you Texas and Florida people to check in with us here and let us know how things are going. Also, federal investigation into Gavin Newsom and his wife Newsom. There's an interesting tidbit to this story that you might not anticipate. Where did this originate from? Other than just glancing at these two slime balls and realizing all you got to do is peel one layer of the onion back and you'll get what you're looking for. All of this and more. In doing show prep today, I found 20 interesting tidbits of info. I don't even know, 20. I don't know what number. And one awful story that I'll give you a heads up on. You can press mute for 5 minutes, listen to this report, and go do your dishes and come back because it's something you don't even want to hear. But you need to know about the evil in this world so that you can act accordingly. If you don't realize how bad things are out there with the weather, then you might get hurt. If you don't realize how bad things are out there, I don't know, with a baby adoption or, selling a watch on Marketplace. I got awful stories galore, not to relish in it. Well, if it bleeds, it leads. I just want people to be aware of the evil that walks amongst us so that we can be a little bit more alert and a little bit more careful. We don't want to find ourselves as victims. So we're going to cover those stories and a musician divorce story. Maybe you saw this coming. It's just, there's a lot of interesting things happening in the world right now. So do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button on Rumble. Hit the thumbs up button on YouTube. Consider becoming a monthly subscriber to the New American Media and the TNAM Daily Show on Rumble and YouTube. As little as like $5 a month. Set it and forget it, and it's just on auto. These are Lego blocks that show up once a month, and we're able to build what we're doing here because it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of money to live each month. And as you're trying to build your own business and trying to get your show off the ground and get things moving, despite all of the censorship efforts from Facebook, Instagram, Meta, YouTube, Google, go down the list, Twitter, we are trying to build an ecosystem, an ecology, infrastructure. I was trying to combine all three of those words at once, and I went, That was the best I could muster. Felt like David Spade. David Spade doing Norm Macdonald. But yeah, we're trying to build our ecosystem, our infrastructure outside of the censorship regime. So if you like what you're getting over here, and if you've enjoyed any of our past 15 years of content, well, consider signing up as well as on Patreon. Just search The New American Media, patreon.com/The New American Media. It's also pinned to the top of our X account, which is at American_media_. Follow the TNAM Instagram page, The New American Media, please. Follow the New American Media page on Facebook. Look, we're still using these garbage social media sites until we find better options. Rumble is better than YouTube. But it's like they're all kind of working right now with glitches and roadblocks and setbacks. But real quick, can you also make sure to subscribe to the Agree to Disagree show? It's our podcast on wherever you get podcasts. I don't know, Spotify, Apple. Trying to grow that platform as well. Once again, that's sort of off the beaten path. It just has its own lane and does its own thing. It's like being on the freeway. What is that? Why can't I remember the names of the... Now, normally I would glance over to my side and look at the freeway. Route 66. Route 66. Is it route like gout or root like tree root? How do you say Route 66? Route 66. How do you say 66? We're trying to build a path alongside the other stuff. And it comes in various ways. Here, let me put this up on the screen. We are halfway through the month, and it's been a month. But yeah, the other three parallel platforms are Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. Venmo, Cash App is just my name, Brian Engelman, and PayPal is fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. All scrolling at the bottom of the screen if you'd like to join us and help us. If you want to see things thrive, you water them, you fertilize them. If you're okay watching them wilt, then you don't add water. By the way, join us in our TNAM Grow Something group. It's on Facebook. TNAM Grow Something. TNAM Grow Something. Spaces in between. Root spelled like ROOT 66. There you go. There you go. That's how Patriot Warrior says it. But I was trying to remember, is it Route 40? I say route, probably. Root feels bougie. The 10 or the 15? Which one goes across through? I know you get east of Los Angeles and you take the 15 into Vegas. But I think you stay on, does 10 become 40? I'm trying to remember exactly. I've taken that route a couple of times, that route a couple of times. But yeah, parallel networks. By the way, do you see what Major League Baseball is getting into? It's just interesting when ideologies mix. When they mix as well as oil and water, and you simply must do one thing and you're not allowed to do another, and you go, that's very interesting. You see it in the UK with how they're banning, they're trying to say they're banning children from online such and such. Well, not Blue Sky, because it's super leftist, deep state, globalist, New World Order shit. No. Blue Sky is good. I think they're going to allow Blue Sky, which is the wacky version of Twitter. The people that couldn't handle free speech, they had to go find a safe space. But yeah, it's not about that. It's about power. It's about control. It's about getting info on everybody and what everybody's doing. It's not about, won't somebody please protect the children? They said that after a couple of schools like Sandy Hook and others were shot up by people on selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs to the lay person. Won't somebody think of the children? Take away all the guns. You see how Europe has been invaded, overrun, overthrown? The citizens have been absolutely brutalized and abused for 30 years because they gave up their weapons. Yes, who is John Galt? There we are. Who is John Galt? That's the t-shirt of the day. I'm not going to have Ron Swanson winking at us today. That was weird from yesterday. That was funny from yesterday. But yeah, what we're doing over here is we're trying to build a... Look, I'm Brian the bartender. Welcome. Come on in. The doors are open. Text your friends. Invite them over. Somebody grab the show link. Go on Rumble or go on YouTube or go on X, however you're watching. Click copy and text somebody. Go, hey, we're live in here. We're hanging out, watching the news. We're a part of the news. We're cracking jokes. We're having a good time. And we're also dealing with horrific stories and trying to move past it. Yeah, my show prep went a little further today because as I was wrapping up, getting ready to launch, I found 5 or 6 more super interesting, timely, compelling stories that I wanted to cover. But yeah, we're trying to, here, let's pull a blue sky. We're trying to create a safe space where we don't care about how you feel. We care about reality. We care about humanity. Not silencing, not censoring, not abusing, just trying to make a better earth. Trying to level us up just a little bit. That's what we're trying to do here because the old American media has been exposed. We don't like it. We don't believe it. We've tuned them out. They've earned it. Hence, the new American media is here. We do our best each day, and we're on Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM Chat. If you're on Telegram and Signal, find us at TNAM and TNAM Chat. We just want to have also on Twitch and Kick. Any of you on Twitch and Kick, subscribe to the New American Media. Those are places we broadcast from. So anyway, just a lot going on. Thank you all for being here. Text your friends a link to today's show and invite them in. Because, yeah, the TNAM Trash Pandas. That is what we call ourselves. Bunch of raccoons rifling through the rubbish, trying to separate fake news from fact, horrible stories from uplifting stories, pertinent, time-sensitive stories, stories that'll make you think, stories that'll make you do some deeper research. And by the way, here's a question of the day. I was going to put this out on Facebook. I didn't get around to it. Or I picked up my phone and something else happened, and then I forgot to get back to it until 20 minutes ago. Question of the day. When is the last time you changed your mind? When is the last time you changed your mind? Now, I mean specifically on like a big issue. Politically, I suppose, personally, religiously, spiritually. When's the last time you changed your mind? And that question will get you thinking, like, do I just dig in and fight for my team, or do I actually stop and take a step back and go, well, I used to be certain of that, but now I'm kind of hearing all this stuff, and maybe I'm not so staunch on that topic. It's a really interesting question. I was scrolling on something, and I saw Kirk Cameron, and he was watching. I don't know who he was. I don't remember who. It was one of those videos where someone's watching someone else and reacting to it. But if you're not willing to consider changing your mind, what are we having conversations for? Anyway, I don't know if that's even in my stack today. I did share it somewhere. Maybe it's in our Instagram. We'll find out as we scroll. But when's the last time you changed your mind? Like on a major topic, on an important topic. So yeah, type it in the comments and join us. Join us here at the bar, the TNAM Daily Show. You know the phrase, you know what we say. Buckle up, buttercups. The TNAM Daily Show starts now.
guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.
Thank you so much for being here. Ortho's in the house. Marion, what's up? Mark saying, isn't it odd? I've seen nothing from the G7. My young friend said Russia is in bad shape. Reference Facebook. I guess I told him Russia hasn't even tried carpet bombing, which they could easily do. Yeah. Piers Morgan put out a tweet we'll get to in a moment, making it seem like Russia's on the brink. And it's like, I don't know that you've really seen Russia try. I don't know how weird that is to say, but like, have you ever seen a cat with a mouse? You know, at some point they'll just hold it down and then they'll keep one paw on it. They'll groom with the other. They'll bat around a ball. Like, are they really trying to finish it off? Or are they just like, all right, I mean, we can wait all day. I don't know. We'll see. I just want some peace. That'd be great. I'm not rooting for one side or the other. I want them to stop fighting, and I just want you to come on, get on with it. Dean is in the house with a salute. Howdy, Dina. Trash Panda Texas is here. Droopy dog. All right, so I started asking the question. Root like root. Reroute and reroute. One is oot, as Canadians would say. Out, or oot, as in hoot or boot. I know, I feel like I'm having a mini stroke here, saying all these words backwards. Not backwards, just I feel like I'm... Now, Dina put this out here. Clouds parted ways for Trump's UFC event as the libs danced and begged for rain to ruin the event. Tim Pool shows you radar the prediction of rain. The storm clouds parted and left beautifully. My conversation. Somebody brought it up to me. Well, if it's going to rain, why don't they just make it not rain? And I'm like we don't do massive weather manipulation? You're telling me the White House doesn't have the ability to change the weather around them? That would not surprise me a bit. I haven't seen that, but I would like to see that. Anytime you do an outdoor event, that is the, I mean, you are rolling the dice. It is very stressful with that. Route 66. How about the HOV lane is what Ortho calls it. Trash Panda number 10 here and accounted for. When's the last time you changed your mind? Just now. I started not to answer, and then I decided to answer. Thanks, Trash Panda Texas. Dina's changed her mind many times. How about, should I use the right brain or the left brain? I told my dad once, or I wrote it down and told him, I have good brains and I have mean brains. So I drew a graph. I'm like, good, I guess, and then bad, mean, and then nice. So it's like a quadrant. I'm like, interesting. Left brain, right brain. Marion changes my mind so much. How about how many times a day do I change it? Mark changed his mind on established religion 12 years ago. Did you leave a faith? Did you join a faith? I'm curious. Please expand on that, Mark. Marion's got to ponder something big. You know, I remember being super pro-life and then going to college and having a conversation. The topic came up and I was like, listen to me. It's like listening to somebody on Fox News. And the person I had known for most of the year was like, I had an abortion. And you go, okay. Well, you know, a conversation ensued and you're like, okay, I don't know that I've sat and had a conversation about what that whole process is. And it's not really that I changed a lot. It's sort of more libertarian, like we're all going to do what we're going to do. We have a First Amendment right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, life, liberty, and property. And the first of those is life. So you can't even have a nation if you can't protect the unborn. And you're like, well, it's a medical, if you're, there's reasons, several reasons. And you go, oof, yeah, okay, oof. You can personally be pro-life, but think maybe the governing policy should be libertarian. So I suppose in those days, I softened my stance. I adjusted my viewpoint to personally try to, or essentially end up reconfirming, no, I get it. And I mostly, so I remember that one was kind of eye-opening. Some people say the whole topic of Israel. For most of my life, I've pretty much avoided the topic, other than Islamic terrorists. Like, I don't know how you can be in favor of Islamic terrorism. And a lot of people for a lot of time have been pointing out, is there undue influence? Is there, well, the two questions, you can ask them one of both ways. I suppose I used to ask, with all of the funding, because you don't need to be pro-Israel, anti-Israel, pro-Jew, anti-Jew, pro-Palestine, anti-Palestine, pro-Islam, anti-Islam. You don't really need to have an opinion on any of those topics to just say, we are sending a lot of money that's collected for us to manage our country out of our country. Why are we sending our funds? If you have so much that you can give it to Uganda, if you can give it to Ukraine, if you can give it to, pick your favorite place on the map, just throw some darts. It doesn't matter. It's not about one country particularly. But if you're taking, collecting, stealing so much from us, once again, who is John Galt? If you're collecting so much, stealing so much, taking so much from us that you can just give it to other people, maybe you're taking too much. I don't think we should be doing things that way. So the question of, is Israel America's 51st state, or are we Israel's second state? That one kind of, because I have a story in the stack. It's just some guy saying a thing, but the guy has some access and he has some pedigree. Rumors that Netanyahu, and he's been accused of trying to extend this war as much as humanly possible. Every time a conversation about a ceasefire happens, he seemingly attacks somewhere else to prolong the misery, the pain, the war, the expenditures. They've said the same thing about Zelensky. Where does this go? Well, I got a video clip where they're saying that Bibi is ready to release the whole Epstein list because it's most of the government. And it'd be so embarrassing. Oh, really? So we can finally just dump everything on the table face up and get it over with, instead of, oh, it feels like there's blackmail, there's espionage, it's a honey trap. Shit. You can't say that. You're anti this. I can say whatever I want. Thank you very much. Of course it's a honeypot. Of course it's, hey, we want to get some compromising material on you. Show you a good time. Come on down. I know a guy. And the more you kind of hung out with him, the more you sort of saw, you kind of got the impression he was fishing for evidence, material, stuff that could be used against you, essentially. And I had a mutual friend say, you ever get the like sort of out of nowhere, we were kind of just talking about stuff. You ever get the feeling that so-and-so is like trying to get you to say stuff so that they can use it against you or hold it against you or have power over you or try to get you to do things? You ever get that impression? I go, I guess like a light bulb went off. I go, well, I don't I hadn't really thought of it that way. But yeah. Oh my God, yeah. And it's somebody who's connected in DC in that whole scummy underbelly world. And you go, that's just how they operate. Get some information that could be used against you at a future time. Of course, that's what Epstein was. It's not even debatable. I'm not even going to entertain the thoughts that it's not. And that whole thing got so weird, and the alleged plot to take out the UFC 250. Well, by the way, the plot was explosives on drones at buildings just outside of the safety perimeter of the UFC 250. And then when people panic and when, we got to take cover, and they all run out, that's when the snipers were going to start. That's what was going to happen. But one of the reports says the guy or the mastermind behind it was doing it because Trump's deep ties with Epstein. And you go, what evidence have we seen? We've seen more evidence dumped on the table. Yeah, but it was all redacted. It's a whole weird scene. I remember trying to cover that day. Trump was like, we're still talking about that guy. I don't get why we're still talking about that guy. I'm like, you don't get why we're still talking about that guy? Billy Clinton still has his swim trunks hanging up over the curtain rod in his bathroom from the last time he went there. Not relevant, not important. Doesn't feel like immense blackmail. Oh, yeah. And then I'm smart enough to realize, I hope I'm smart enough to realize, there's things we don't know that we don't know. And there's a lot going on. One of my theories is that some of that information has been held back so that you could use it as leverage against the people in that to kind of out Epstein. And what would the value of that be if you could kind of control foreign dignitaries and corporations? Kind of take that leverage and just reclaim it. I don't know. But when's the last time I've changed my mind on something interesting? Mark changed his mind on paper or plastic. That's a pretty good one. Russia really helped the allies. Wish we were on the same side now. I mean, it seems like President Trump and Russia might be on the same side now. Yes, great point, Marion. Smile. Your mom chose life. Very true. Hurricane is coming. A storm is coming. The storm has arrived. If you know, you know. Yeah, we're up to maybe a question mark cyclone coming up across the Gulf of America into the southeastern United States. When the levee breaks, have you ever heard the cover with Maynard James Keenan? I'm trying to think if that was Tool or if that was A Perfect Circle. But it's a pretty good rendition. Maybe it's A Perfect Circle, but try Tool. Look up When the Levee Breaks. Alberta Arnold checking in. Watching my county meeting. All right, enjoy your county meeting up there, Alberta Arnold. Thanks for popping in. Love the fact that we're multinational. Crap, Brian trying to get me to say stuff. You will never get it out of me. Well, I am an interviewer. It's an epidemic in Houston. An epidemic of what? People trying to get you to say things? Or flooding? All right. Hit thumbs up, hit subscribe, share the show with the friends. Get into the stuff going on the planet. We got a lot of stuff. Hang on, where's the button? Share screen. There we are.
That base has put out the...
All right. So this is bad news. A B-52 Stratofortress bomber has crashed at Edwards Air Force Base.
Take you out to California, Edwards Air Force Base in Kern County, California. That base has put out the following alert, and it reads like this. A United States Air Force B-52 Stratofortress, that's a huge plane, crashed shortly after takeoff on the Edwards Airfield, 11:20 a.m. We assume that to be Pacific time, which would have been just about an hour ago. The statement continues, emergency crews immediately responded to the scene. Situation's ongoing. More information will be provided as it becomes available. So you can see there that charred runway, that tarmac in Kern County, California. What we don't know is how many people might have been on board, crew members, passengers. We don't have an idea just yet. No word on the pilots.
All right, I'll give you a word. We can move on to the next.
I want to take you out to California.
8 people perished in the B-52 Stratofortress crash shortly after takeoff, June 15, 26, during a routine test mission in Southern California's Mojave Desert out of Edwards Air Force Base. This is what I get for trying to read it backwards. I'm grabbing notes out of the paragraph and I'm reading right to left. All 8 people on board. The crash was described as unsurvivable. Mix of military personnel, government, civilians, contractors. Boeing confirmed 2 employees among the dead. No one on the ground injured. Cause remains under investigation. Prayers to all involved. Yeah, that did happen. Oh, yeah, I guess it says 16th, but that would be yesterday. Yeah, you're right. Oh, no, June 15th. Yes, that was 15th. That was yesterday. Yeah, your daily reminder that Theodore Roosevelt would have loved the UFC 250 fight. It was sort of his thing. He literally boxed in the White House until he detached his retina, and then he kept going. That dude was something else. When he got shot in the chest, he still delivered a 90-minute speech because he decided it wasn't serious. He trained jiu-jitsu, says Historical USA. Wrestled military aides and lived for the strenuous life. If the White House hosted a UFC fight in Teddy's day, Roosevelt wouldn't be watching. He'd be in the cage with gloves on asking for round 2. The man in the arena. Here's the flyover talking about planes and UFC. I'm not sure how much of this I can play. Not sure how weird. But it's just nice to see America doing America things. We don't have to be embarrassed. The Democrat deep state wants you to do. Look how happy that dude is. Dana White, just living the dream. That guy. Yeah, we're allowed to do good things, cool things. Speaking of cool things, people are coming into the United States from all over the globe for the World Cup. Having a good time with it. Ingvild writes, the Scotsman is the account. Says, I'm loving watching all the footage of the Tartan Army in Boston. Tartan Army in Boston. Barston. A street performer's playing here, and so the dude with the bagpipes comes up. Love it. I think foreigners experiencing the U.S. and going home is fantastic. Bringing their money and then going home is fantastic. comment. This is how the world would be is if we got rid of politicians. Great comment. Everyone around there's like, oh, I got to grab this. This is neat. Maz says, damn, it's like the world's a better place when we share experience. Anyway, I think it's super cool. People like America more when they see it. Here's your daily reminder that a stone in the wrong hands killed Abel. A stone in the right hands killed Goliath. It's never the stone. It's never the gun. It's the man holding it. Remember, shall not be.
Yeah, the White House.
Who's this? Chad?
Yeah, the White.
Prather. What happened on that White House lawn? This references your comment, Dina.
White House lawns hosted a lot of events throughout history, political, cultural, historic. But when Americans compare the two moments between the Biden administration and the Trump administration, there's two different messages that are going on. One message says your identity is the highest truth. The other says that there are things greater than your identity. Family, faith, country, duty, sacrifice, freedom. And those aren't just words, man. I'm just telling you the question every generation's got to answer is which message is going to define the future. Because whatever a nation celebrates today, it teaches tomorrow. Whatever it teaches tomorrow becomes its culture. And when I look at those images, I didn't just see a pride event and a UFC event. I saw two competing visions for this country. One was centered on self and one was centered on some shared purpose. One was asking us to celebrate who we are as individuals, and the other is asking us to remember who we are as Americans. And if you ask me, America needs a little more of that second message right now.
Well said.
Yeah, the White House.
It's pretty interesting. Remember growing up, you heard Wikipedia isn't a valid source. And then you enter a workplace where people say, hey, just ask ChatGPT. It's surprisingly strange as a timeline. You don't trust Wikipedia, but people are trusting AI. Yeah, it feels a little reckless. Here's that look that you make when Cuba sees that President Trump is done with Iran now. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. Now, let's lay this out. You're hearing about a massive AI boom, massive job loss. 90% of jobs are just gone. So, like, how are people going to? What the hell happens when 90% of the jobs are gone? Well, here's an interesting conversation. Who is this from? The Jesus People podcast. Not following, but all right, I'll follow. It's interesting.
But it's going to lose their job. 90% unemployment. That's what Elon Musk is saying. Imagine 90% unemployment, then universal high income. But how are they going to give you this universal high income? Right now,
universal income. Andrew Yang was talking about that. Universal basic income. No, universal high income. Oh, okay, great. So I can just get all this money for nothing. Great.
Even the EBT cards that they use for people that use food stamps, it's already digitalized. Wow. So how are they going to catch everybody when there's no work?
I didn't even think of that. So if you...
There's a lot of music on here. Please, Instagram, give me the opportunity to just click the button and remove the background music. I do not want a copyright strike. I just want to hear this conversation.
If what Elon Musk is saying is true, that 90%...
Elon saying 90% unemployment will happen pretty soon. And there will be universal high income that literally creates control to buy or sell. That's the end times beast system.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, Bill Gates is buying farmland everywhere. You're not going to be... I have cows in my ranch. I have chicken. I have fish. People need to be prepared, because if people don't have that mindset of preparedness, how many people watch their children starve to death?
Yeah.
They'll give you universal high income. How? Through a credit score system. They'll give you...
Perfect. Yeah. Like the Chinese social credit score, they call it.
money. They'll tell you whether you can buy meat with it, and you can't take it.
No meat, can't buy meat.
Right now, even like I say, EBT cards, food stamps is no longer.
Dude, this is almost too much.
Do you understand?
Humanity needs to wake up. If we don't know these things, then we could be caged. But if we know these things, then you're going to need to be prepared. Not saying this to scare people, she says. I'm saying this so you don't have to tell people to buy an umbrella to scare them. You tell them to buy an umbrella because you know rain is coming. As a prophet of God, as a person.
Read the book of Revelation. The Euphrates River is drying up. The northern coalition that's going to fight Israel is gathered already. Do you even know that even this peace plan that they are putting together, to reconstruct Gaza is 3.5 years? So there's so much that is happening prophetically that is right in.
That's right in front of us, but the church is still busy catching their breakthrough, moving up to the next level. And I'm here to say, wake up. You need to wake up to know the truth, not because I'm scared, but because you need to be prepared. Yeah, there's no need to be scared when you're prepared. What happens now, and when the Lord Jesus comes for us, when the rapture happens, Revelation 14:14, you can read it. But yeah, I mean, a government big enough to give you everything you need is big enough to take away everything you have. Dina says one side wanted you to forget God. Yeah. Which side was that? The Biden side? So yeah, universal basic income. Be careful, people. Konstantin Kisin says, I think possibly the best thing about Elon Musk becoming a trillionaire is how angry it makes a bunch of losers who've never built a thing in their lives. Bravo. Well said. Yeah, some of the biggest haters are some of the biggest losers. How interesting that happens. Basic optimism account, okay? Politicians who became millionaires with our taxes, like Bernie Sanders, you got Mamdani up there, but he just got in. Mad at a man who became rich by building things that people actually want. This is how absurd it is. The same people like Bernie Sanders who spent years protesting vehicle emissions. They're now mad at the entrepreneur, Elon Musk, who actually solved it with electric cars. That's how absurd this is. Politicians who never generated $1 of tax revenue in their lives are mad at a man who paid billions in taxes. Activists like AOC who claim to fight for workers are mad that an entrepreneur turned thousands of his employees, welders, engineers, cafeteria workers, into millionaires. Politicians who have never created a single job in their lives are mad at a man who employs hundreds of thousands of people and funds their pensions. Politicians who have never run anything in their lives genuinely believe they would allocate money better than the man who built Tesla and SpaceX. Your life isn't worse because Elon Musk is a trillionaire. It's the opposite. He got rich because he actually built things that people wanted. Your life is worse because politicians take billions from you every year without providing you anything valuable, not producing anything valuable. People who never built anything get to lecture the man who built everything. This is how absurd the West has become. Basic optimism. Oh, that was slightly off. I should have shifted it that way. Sorry. I was busy reading it, not looking. I need to set up another monitor so I can bounce back and forth. Methinks. But yeah, we also got to be careful of, if that quote about Elon talking about a 90% universal high income, developing Neuralink, buying Twitter to learn what everybody's algorithms and personalities are and use it to train your artificial intelligence that's going to build your robots and robot dog armies. Yeah, we got reason to be like a little, are we sure about that? Are we sure about that? But you got to admit, Elon standing up for free speech and trying to stop the fourth Obama term. Yes, I said fourth. You could say fifth if you count Trump's first term of deep state sabotage. at least Twitter turning around has been a massive boon, a very important turning point. And it's one of the major things that helped President Trump get reelected. So anyway. So Daily Wire says that Giants players write Bible verses on pride hats. What are the... Jamie, look up the 7 deadly sins: greed, gluttony, sloth, pride, envy, wrath, and lust. There we go. Pride is excessive belief in one's own abilities or superiority. It's hubris, often seen as the original and most serious sin. Then why was that phrase chosen for this movement? That's very interesting. The San Francisco Giants decide we don't want to make our hats like our hats. We want to put this flag on that. Right there. And so you write a verse across it.
Specific chapter and verse that you have?
Yeah, 12 through 16. It's just about God's covenant and a promise that he makes to us.
The rainbow is a symbol of God's promise to us, a covenant with us. The rainbow isn't about being gay. It's about God's covenant to us. That's way predating that. So you want me to wear a rainbow on my hat? I'm going to tell you what the rainbow means.
That, you know, his faithfulness and his mercy. And it's just kind of something I believe in, and I stand firm in that. And thankfully, we live in a country where, you know, we have the freedom to believe what we want. So, yeah, and express what we want.
So it was on Pride Night, supposed to be dedicated to support and belonging. They wrote Bible verses on their caps. Libs who love and accept everyone. When someone respectfully disagrees, how do they act when someone respectfully disagrees with them? You know, you've encountered this. It's like the light switch goes off and you're dealing with, well, that. Sports Playhouse. Not following it, but I'll follow it. Staring down the actual Declaration of Independence before stepping into the octagon as an underdog to beat the piss out of an undefeated fighter in front of the world is an extraordinary level of legendary. Justin Gaethje produced one of the most unforgettable moments in MMA history during UFC Freedom 250, combining a scene worthy of a movie script with a career-defining performance inside the octagon. Hours before stepping into the cage, Gaethje was seen standing before the original Declaration of Independence, taking in the significance of the historical document while surrounded by American symbols inside the White House. The powerful image quickly spread across social media as fans connected it with the massive challenge awaiting him later that night against the previously undefeated Ilia Topuria. What followed only added to the legend. Entering the fight as a sizable underdog, Gaethje overcame the odds and delivered a stunning upset victory on one of the biggest stages the sport has ever seen. The contrast between the quiet moment of reflection before the Declaration of Independence and the violent chaos that unfolded inside the cage captivated fans around the world. By the end of the night, Gaethje wasn't just celebrating a championship victory. He had created a sequence of events that many fans instantly described as one of the most iconic images and stories in modern UFC history. Dylan says, LMAO, looking at it, acting like he can read it is wild. It's a joke, but it's stupid. I'll take the heart back. Anyway, the cool moments. Here's an epic moment, says Todd Spears. Who are they talking to? Good Day, New York. Talking with Hakeem Jeffries. They call him Dollar Store Obama. Finally gets exposed for the lying mouth breather that he truly is.
Which is going to make their life
the gas
better.
prices were this high under Obama, too. So,
well, listen, no,
and Biden.
Well, I'm not.
Right, President Biden? Didn't we have gas prices at over $5?
No, well, there were gas prices in the immediate aftermath of
and I remember eggs were like $12 a dozen.
Which is
good. Good for her. We need more like her. Just so sick of everything being spun to help Democrats in the deep state. Spun to make sure Americans live shittier lives. Just so sick of it. Good for her. Who is that lady? Rosanna. Who's Rosanna? Love this woman. Who is she? I'm going to ask it as well. Who is this woman? Let's all support and follow her. Because you know she's going to get fired from Good Day New York now for that. So we need to follow her at her next job.
Which is going to make their life.
It's cool to love America and never bet against America. Look at that. There we go. Look at that. It's just objectively cool. That's it. It's objectively cool. And it's cool to love America. Objectively cool. And you're a dork if you don't. So here's World Cup tourists experiencing the USA for the first time. And it'll warm your heart, says Puberty. Is that Japanese writing there? Yeah, Japanese, translated from Japanese. I didn't order this, but it was here from the start. Is stuff like this paid? Like the otoshi you get in Japan? Going to a Mexican restaurant, and it's like, yep, here's your chips and salsa. It's like, what? It just arrives? Mm-hmm. Freddie says, quite the surreal morning in New Orleans today. Got a tour of the Saints and Pelicans facilities. Thank you so much for this opportunity. She wants to take him out to a show on Saturday. Here's the redneck now on the European. Fiago says, by the way, this is what happens when a European, me, goes to Chicago thinking it's going to rain. I'll be fine without sunscreen. To all my fellow Europeans traveling to the U.S. this summer, don't make the same mistake. Yeah, that's why we're called rednecks. Thank you. Blair McNally says, I think this might be the best food in the world. Of course. Really great Mexican joint. It doesn't get much better. Mr. K, translated from Japanese to Grok. To those heading to America for the World Cup, if there's a Texas Roadhouse near your hotel, head there immediately. It's a chain restaurant, but you can get the best cost-performance steak. Cost-performance steak. Especially the ribeye. It's the absolute best. Yeah, I really do think Texas Roadhouse they have surprisingly good burgers. Surprisingly good burgers. Skylar says, I can't lie, the food in America is ridiculous. Everyone talks about portion sizes, but nobody talks enough about how good everything tastes. Even the quick food feels elite compared to what I'm used to in the UK. World Cup tourists discover New Jersey deli. I feel like the experiences here are going to change opinions of the United States more than any political will. I know my New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut homies are going to do some serious PR during the World Cup. American generosity is like a firm hug from this gentleman. It's the best public relations this country has had in years. And this is, and by the way, this is what the difference between President Trump and President Dipshits are. You're actually talking your company up as the CEO. You're lobbying hard to get the World Cup selected. You're talking up the World Cup. You're going on about the World Cup. Yeah, it's our 250th birthday party. We're going to have a big birthday party, a big celebration. Maybe the biggest we've ever seen on Independence Day. Come down to the Lincoln Memorial, the biggest fireworks display of all time. someone that actually likes this country. And, I don't want to say it out loud because, once you learn who I am, in my desire to fundamentally transform the United States of America into a Marxist shithole. And you suckers bought it, hook, line, and sinker. Kind of like my chef. He was out there fishing or something and fell in 3 feet of water, 7 feet of water. I don't know. But look, we got to fundamentally transform this shithole nation into a Marxist utopia with hope, with change, and white guilt. It was all sort of baked in there. First black president, even though I'm half white, we don't talk about the half white part. It's all about divide and conquer with me, a community agitator, organizer. Isn't it so nice to have a president that cares about this country and wants to see it clean and nice and safe and awesome? And just getting something like the World Cup has that effect. I'm loving these stories. Stacy, oh, how my heart just exploded. This is the America I'm proud to be from. Literally a peak American experience. Now, this is America. That sandwich is going to slap. I love the Brits being introduced to the tri-state deli culture. So beautiful. We love the deli guy. Ratty says, I can't remember the last time I saw Boston like this. It's off the hook, Just rip roaring. Because people aren't going out like they used to. It's not the same. American Baguette. 1 in every 3 men are wearing kilts right now in Boston because of Scotland. Manpreet. WTF is the size of these 4 locos, man. They're about 2 times the size of ours back home, man. Wish you got these in Scotland. 5-hour bus from New York to Boston now. Good few cans, obviously. Pre-game day in Boston, buzzing. Come on, Scotland. Elsa, why did no one tell me ranch sauce was like crack? Europe, we need ranch ASAP. It's just, don't tell me America has no culture. They're calling biscuits and gravy scones and mushrooms for breakfast. Well, you'll figure it out, and man, is that stuff good. World Cup trip day 7, Johnny Rockets, a burger chain originating from LA that hasn't landed in Japan yet. Concept of a good old 1950s American diner, and its signature features patties made from 100% beef with absolutely no frozen meat used, juicy and delicious. It's just people loving it. Just they're liking being in America. The Scots have taken Boston Common. The Tartan Army has arrived. Dropped off my luggage at the hotel, head to In-N-Out, went double, French fries done in animal style. Good vibes. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's post after post of people going, I like America. And my God, after 12 years of Obama, 16 years of Obama, count the sabotage from Trump's first term and count Biden's debacle as essentially Weekend at Bernie's with Biden holding, Obama holding the puppet strings. This is so refreshing to see like America getting a glow up. And we've needed it because we've been beaten down by these crappy teachers, these crappy Democrats, politicians, these crappy fake media propaganda companies to hate ourselves, hate our country, hate our heritage, hate our customs and traditions. It's just no thanks. So different. President Trump says Iran has agreed to never have a nuclear weapon. Also, the story that the U.S. is paying Iran $300 million is fake news, put out by the Democrats. I actually think they said 300 billion. Yeah. Which would be 300 times worse than Obama giving them $1 billion. We shall see. And the attack on America, the Pocket podcast, Chris Griffin. Okay. This person kind of sums it up pretty articulately here on that topic.
On the Epstein files, the elites were purposely trying to lower testosterone in men so that men can't fight back, putting estrogen in the water, making men very passive and weak through social media.
They're telling them, oh, your masculinity is toxic. You should actually just be super soft and sweet all the time and gentle and never fight against anything. You have to realize men are much more logical than women, she says. There's no masculinist movement, just a feminist movement, because they knew that women were easier to target because we're emotional. And they're emotionally targeting women through this propaganda because they see these videos online. They're like, oh, that's so sad. They're getting deported. Their families are separated. And it's like, that was fake. That was not a real headline. It's to cover up these things that they're doing. Because if every single man had the mindset of, no, our job is to protect women, children, no matter what, they would not be getting away with these things. Savannah Faith Stone. Oh, that's what I thought I followed. Okay, well, following. It's been a plan to demoralize us. I never went along with it, but damn, it just feels nice to not have it yapping at you, you know? Adam Housley reporting about the governor of California. Here's the investigation we were telling you about.
Coming down on Trump for using the DOJ to prosecute his political opponents. Just take a look at this and let me know what you think. To everyone coming down on Trump for using the DOJ to prosecute his political opponents, just take a look at this and let me know what you think. To everyone coming down on Trump for...
Sorry, I thought that was going somewhere. Gavin and his wife under federal investigation. And it began during the Biden administration. That's kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal.
To everyone coming down...
We'll get to more on that in a second. Redheaded libertarian says, excuse me, the Scots are assimilating well to American culture.
Watch this.
It's just, it feels good to feel good again. You know, Reagan was so good because, yeah, he was hard-nosed on Gorbachev. He was hard-nosed on space, what do you call it? Star Wars programs and this and that. And Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. But he was also just a cheerleader for the United States. God, when is the last time we had a cheerleader in the White House? How do you have to go back to Reagan?
This was like one of the best videos I've seen in a while. So
it just feels good to feel good, and I want more of that.
These fans from Scotland are here in the United States for the World Cup, obviously, and they're completely embracing American culture. So you never see videos like this with people, you know, that are illegals. You'll see them waving their flags, right? But no, they're here. They're embracing American culture and loving it. So I have a proposal. I would propose having these guys become Americans and kicking out the illegals, the people that don't love our country, the ones that hate our flag, hate everything we stand for. Honestly, I don't even care anymore. I would do a total even swap with them and American liberals because we know they hate our country. Thank you. Have a nice day.
The United States would like to announce a trade. A trade has been made.
I have a message.
And remember, this guy, Bo Nickel, 9-1, who just won by first-round knockout at the White House lawn at UFC Freedom 250, tells millions of viewers that fame, drugs, sex, and money will never fill the void. Then he quotes John 10:10.
I have a message. In John chapter 3, verse 16.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is 3:16 he's quoting here. Oh, there's multiple people saying things? Oh, Ruffy. This is Ruffy preaching John 3:16.
For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Jesus changed my life. Jesus saved my life. Jesus wanna save your life too. Give your life to Jesus. Thank you so much.
I learned a Bible verse in high school. It's John 10:10. It says,
why is there so much music? Just get the music off. I don't want to be demonetized by YouTube today. But I will tell you one more time, if you want to drop a Rumble rant or super chat tip into the tip jar, they're greatly appreciated. We are about halfway through the month, and we're going to have more than a full month of expenditures this month. Some of the stories we discussed a couple days ago, we don't need to bring up again. But yeah, great way to support the program, and sharing the show definitely helps inviting people in, and consider signing up on Patreon at the New American Media. But yeah, I want to click a button, just take the music out. I do not want to broadcast the show on YouTube only to get a BMG Music Group has decided to file a copyright claim for that organ going. Yeah. I guess you're entitled to earn all the money that I earned today with my hat being out while I play the guitar on the street corner. You're just going to reach in and take all the coins and dollar bills out and just go home with it because somebody walked by going, It's a big problem in copyright law right now. And I used to work at the world's largest talent agency. I worked in the contracts office. Like, I like the minutia of this. I love protecting artists, but give me a damn break. Sorry, it's just a little inside baseball we have to deal with. But it did remind me to do my ad read. So thank you, everybody, for your support.
The thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I've come to give you life so that you may live it to the full. And I feel like I'm living it to the full, enjoying every moment.
That guy had a good fight.
I'm just, like, as grateful as can be. And that's really my attitude moving
forward in life. Just to have gratitude and appreciate God's blessing. All right, well, that's cool. Meanwhile, in Major League Baseball, anyway, here's this lady, a grandmother is this Ireland? Yeah, an Irish grandmother going viral. She's out at one of the many protests all across Europe because they want their country back.
And I'm here for my children, and I'm here for my grandchildren, and I'm here to keep Ireland for the Irish and our Celtic race.
Music in the background. In our Celtic race, in our culture, and our traditions, in our Christian Catholic religions. And I do not want Ireland to become an Islam stronghold, she says. Over that music from The Departed. Wasn't that from The Departed? Dun, dun, ba, da, 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 dun, 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 ba, da, dun, dun, dun. Irish roads take me home. Grow Money CEO put this out and says, hey, remember the day that Elon Musk told advertisers this right here? He was worth $220 billion. Today, 5x.
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
But
go fuck yourself. Is that clear?
Yes, it's clear. Actually, that sounds actually here, let me play this one more time because I have to reply to this. Here, we're going to do something interesting.
I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Liger.
You hope. Don't.
Here, this will all make sense in a second. On that topic, here's Elon Musk, when he was worth $220 billion, telling ex-advertisers what to do if they weren't going to advertise on his platform.
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
But
go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob.
So I guess Elon has a way of telling people to fuck off too. So that was in response. I just got it. I'm in a group text message and it says, JD Vance kind of reminds me of Brian. I'm in with 5 people in this one. Brian has no problem telling people to fuck off, but he's good at the polite fuck yous as well. Just like Vance. The way Vance laughs a little too when being talked over. Is it just me? It's kind of funny. Am I clear? Go. It's great. That's what you got to do. You only live one time around. Oh, speaking of living once this time around, this post applies to cats as well. This one just made me think and how important it is that we have animal energy in our lives.
You have two choices in life. Get a dog or don't get a dog.
Or get a cat or don't get a cat.
If you don't get a dog, your floors stay clean, your shoes stay where you left them, and your heart beats quietly in your chest without ever worrying about anyone else. Your life stays exactly the way you arranged it. Safe, predictable, yours. But if you do get a dog, you are making a decision that changes everything. You are saying yes to mud on the floors.
Scooping litter boxes.
Fur on every piece of clothing you own.
Fur on every piece of clothing I own, yes.
And a creature that will reorganize your entire sense of priority without asking permission. More than that, you are making one of the bravest decisions a person can make, because you already know how this ends. You know that dog will not live as long as you.
Or your cat will not live as long as you.
You know that one day you are going to have to say goodbye to something that loved you more completely than most people ever will. And you say yes anyway. That is not naivety. That is courage. The real question this forces you to answer is the most important one any of us ever face. Is it better to live a safe and quiet life where nothing can hurt you, or a loud and messy life full of a love so big it will one day break your heart completely? Every single person who has ever had a dog
or a cat
already knows the answer. You have
Yep. And cheers to Nimbus. Continuing the household cleaning up process, just full deep cleaning of all things and reorganizing and reprioritizing what's needed, what's no longer needed. I feel like my chair is sinking. I don't know if that's happening. It has to be happening because I've had to do this 2 or 3 times. Dina says, should be late night with Brian Engelman. What does that mean? Because I'm hilarious, or you just want the show at night?
You have two choices in life. Get a dog.
Oh, man. So what's going on at the reflecting pool? Have we seen these stories? Stinchfield is here. He's on Real America's Voice.
Oh, man. Take a look at this. The reflecting pool's green.
It was supposed to be completely
black. Yeah.
I mean, we just saw it like a week ago. It was like crystal clear blue, beautiful.
All that, yeah.
Crazy.
There's algae in here again. I feel like it's sabotage.
That wouldn't shock me either.
Why is it like this? Because it's gooey at the other end, and we walked this whole thing. We're like, there's
nice
no way that something like this. And the very opposite side is the World War II memorial. Right. The water's fine. Why is this? So something happened here.
I mean, they had just literally fixed this.
Obama spent $32 million and it never held water. Trump spends 14 and they go crazy.
Yeah, is the problem that this water is not recirculating? Why don't they attach it to some sort of fountains on the side that'll keep it running? There's that story about how Walt Disney wanted to buy that land in Orlando, but they had a huge mosquito problem, so they designed the place so that there's no stagnant water or stagnant water possibilities anywhere on site. Any place with water is flowing, and the other places there's no catch basins that can get stagnant water where mosquitoes can lay eggs and multiply. Dina says, for both reasons. Late night with Brian Engelman. Funny, and later with your talent. Okay. Yeah, where's Kenneth today? He's one of my comedy writers. Where's Cat? Wait, what is today? Yeah, I think Monday, Tuesdays, his schedule's a little different. Comes in a little later. Yeah, I'm down. I would love. Yeah. I know they run with a minimal production team. Gutfeld. Gutfeld's so good with words. Good writer. I love it. His monologues, his rants. Adam Carolla's a good writer. His rants are fantastic. Maybe the key to writing is just being good at ranting. Ooh, the key to writing is ranting. All right, late night with Brian Engelman. I'm okay with that. That feels all right. That works for me. Anyway.
They're pumping something into this. I don't know if it's air or what, and what a shame. Because in the end, after all the work that was done, after as proud as I was of President Trump for finally getting this thing fixed.
Yeah, this sucks.
We're back to green. And again, is it nefarious? I tend to think so. You wouldn't have so much algae that you see in here. You would not have that quickly unless somebody did something. I'm telling you, I think they want Trump to fail so badly that they'll come out here and do anything.
I agree with you.
It's crazy. Although I think he'll get it fixed.
So the good news is, it's not
gonna drain it and clean it again.
Leaking. That is true. And as the man said, if anybody can get it fixed, Trump can. They're trying to get it right for these Freedom 250 celebrations. But what a shame. What a freaking shame.
Tim says, I worked at the Interior Department. You'll never have a clear pool of stagnant water with that amount of heat, direct sun, and humidity. So, yeah, I don't know. Just fix it. Just fix it. All these experts in the comments, I can't even. But I don't just believe it's sabotage. Cletus, when I was younger, DC was my introduction to witnessing real poverty and homelessness. Do you mean on, is that when you took your 8th grade field trip to DC? From Lewiston, Maine. That's where you're from, right? Yeah, Lewiston, Maine. Yeah, my God, when I was there in 2020 for January 6th, I couldn't believe how much of a shithole DC was. I couldn't believe it. It was during the summer of love, 6 months of Democrats burning the country down. All the businesses were boarded up, all this pro-Islam graffiti all over this shit. Things broken, trash everywhere. Bums, garbage, crime, grime. It just looked like nobody cared. It looked like a month-long house party where the person who actually lived there, the kid who was allegedly watching the house while his parents were out of town, the kid just went on vacation and left. And the kids, with no oversight, just let the place turn to crap. That's what it was like. That's what it's like when a commie mayor of DC has to collaborate with the other commie mayors of the blue cities across the country to burn America down because of, divide and conquer tactics perfected by Obama. Yeah, DC was trash then. DC was great when I went back in 8th grade, but okay, it was a family vacation in 2004. Gotcha. Anyway, it is possible that they did fix that reflecting pool up before, although it was leaking, so that wasn't really fixed. I don't know. This bugs me. This story really bugs me. It's resolved, but it's not resolved. And man, if it doesn't feel like the Iran situation. It's done, but it's not done. It's done, but it's not done. It's done, but it's not done. It's done, but not like that. It's done like that, but not like that. Is it? Can we please finalize this? Same with Ukraine, Russia. Same with Israel. Same with Cuba. Same with Venezuela. Can we just resolve these things? fixing the reflecting pool, and now it's puddle of garbage again. I don't know. We'll see how the story shakes out. Sabotage, or they need to add some new chemicals.
Oh, man.
I don't know what
Take a look.
I'm not buying that it was sabotaged.
You want to?
What I will say is maybe it's unfixable. Isn't that possible? And maybe we should ease up on blaming Obama and blaming Biden and saying they're inept and incompetent, although they are, and malevolent and destructive. But maybe this reflecting pool is just unfixable. If Trump can't fix it, and none of the other people could fix it, maybe it can't be fixed. But I refuse to believe that. So we'll see. We'll keep our eyes peeled on this story, what's going to happen. If it comes down to we got to drain it again and do it again, all right, well, drain and do. Let's get it done. All right, this is, I believe, Citizen Journal Foundation. What's this?
You want to sign? Okay. The first one.
I'm Joseph Albright. Okay.
The first name?
Joseph Albright.
Fraudulent petitioners on
that's James O'Keefe.
Skid Row are now paying the homeless to forge names, forge addresses, and forge signatures of registered voters.
What are you using? Teresa.
No, I'm going to give you your address to write.
Oh, okay.
Directions?
Okay, yeah.
This is Robert.
Quickly becoming a widespread scheme that can be found on almost every street corner in downtown Los Angeles.
So you're going to go do this, they're going to give you another $3. Then you're going to do somebody else, they're going to give you another $3.
So you guys are all working together.
You asking a lot of questions. You scaring me.
We find...
You're asking a lot of questions. You're scaring me. The homeless industrial... When it's revealed, because it's been revealed, we're seeing it. Undercover video after undercover video. We're seeing what this is, why they're not fixing homeless. This army of phantom fake voters. Imagine stealing from the homeless, exploiting the homeless, using the homeless to just perpetuate more of this. And you can never fix the problem because then you'll lose all your phantom votes. Then you could never get elected because the people hate you. Not an endorsement of the Republican Party, but the Democrats can't run anything.
Thousands of...
Saying this is how Spencer Pratt got bumped out.
Names and addresses of registered voters being handed out to the homeless on scraps of paper.
For the people who want to say, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Here's an investigative report showing evidence. Video, photograph, documenting it in person.
Oh, cool. They pay you? How much? Oh, what name you have there? Oh, it's Vicky Walker. You're Vicky, huh? They gave me the name. Oh, cool.
We tracked down the disenfranchised voters at their homes to get the reaction to their signature being forged.
Oh, the reaction to forged signature. Mark, that's a good, interesting. Watch the water, perhaps. Perhaps it means the swamp isn't fixable and it must be redone. If you know, you know on that one. But yeah, watch the water. That's you know, when you say vague, it's like a fortune teller. When you say vague things, or Nostradamus, he predicted it. Did he? Or did he say something vague that we could all paint our personal experiences on? Well, you know, maybe a little bit of both. Maybe a little bit of both.
They're giving names of currently registered voters, and one of them is a Vicky Walker. I assume that's his address?
Still get her ballot, but...
You still get her ballot?
Yeah. Doesn't live here. I bought this house nearly 9 years ago.
Okay.
So that's why I always feel really weird when I get the voting ballot. It's like, you know, obviously that's fraudulent.
Definitely want to stay informed. We definitely want to follow through on this and see where they're getting this information, how they're getting this information.
Yeah. I just hope we get a stop to this soon. I mean, I didn't know that they were using my name and address for what's political fraud. That's what it is, right? Yeah. Just hopefully the governor and the district attorney or whoever just put a stop to this. Yeah.
All right, music coming in.
You want to sign?
Oh, I covered it up with this. So at this angle, you'd have a ortho saying calcium hydrochloride kills bacteria and algae, restoring the water to a clear state. Always had a bromine. Is that what we had? It was either chlorine or bromine, I think. It doesn't sound right. Am I saying it wrong? Am I chlorine? Chlorine is most common. Bromine is a strong alternative, especially for hot tub spas, indoor pools, or people with sensitive skin. Bromine, yeah. Oh, bromine actually costs more. We always had bromine. Anyway, at this angle, you have a civil war. And at this angle, Michelle Obama is being called a man during a UFC event on the White House lawn. So here's an interesting graphic. Anyway, there's just a reminder. Jotun says, at this point, I think civil war is inevitable. You're just kicking the can down the road is all. We'll see.
If there's...
Now, here's what I was telling you. Shadow of Ezra put this out. Although I did definitely catch something they put out that was incorrect earlier, but this is allegedly former Israeli intelligence officer Ari Ben-Manash saying Benjamin Netanyahu is about to do something. This is like in his opinion.
If there's a real deal between the Americans and the Iranians, and it's going towards that, Netanyahu will try to sabotage it. One of the ways he'd sabotage it is by putting out Epstein material against U.S. government officials, including Trump. And he put it out there. New material that wasn't seen before in public.
So it's not just Trump. I know that Howard Lutnick is mentioned. There are other officials.
Not just Trump, other officials too. Yes. And he'll try to sabotage the whole negotiation and deal that would be that they're trying to make together. If there's
Okay, well, that's what those two people had to say. Not entirely certain. We shall see, but yeah, the comment here says release it. The problem with blackmail is once it comes out, the person being blackmailed no longer has any reason to listen to you or work with you or deal with you or do anything. I don't think it will do what you think it will do. But we'll see. All right, let's bounce over to our X account. Yes, Ortho, you're saying that's pool shock. The calcium hydrochloride is, and it contains 10% chlorine. I miss having a pool in the backyard. I think I will jump in soon, maybe today. We'll see. All right, check us out on X. We're at American_media_. Reminder, please consider becoming a monthly subscriber on Patreon or Rumble or YouTube, The New American Media. Or if you want to drop a one-time tip, because I'm just standing out here playing the guitar with the guitar case open, toss some coins, silver coins, hopefully, into the guitar case. It helps us keep the lights on here at this bar. Rumble Rants, Super Chats, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, scrolling at the bottom of the screen. All right, let's go through X. Adam Housley says, as I've reported several times and now acknowledged by the governor of California, Gavin Newsom and his wife are under federal investigation. What he failed to tell you, it began under the Biden admin, which is kind of a big deal. Washington Post says Gavin Newsom says he and his wife are under federal investigation and accused President Trump of weaponizing the Justice Department against him. Oh, you mean like they did to President Trump, breaking decades-long protocols of that type of thing? Weaponizing the justice system against him because he's considering a presidential run. No, he's not considering a presidential run because he's hoping to become president. That's not ambiguous. That's right. Toss some gold coin tips into the tip jar. Not silver coins. I want $4,200 tip today. Which of you in the congregation has it in your heart to deposit $4,200 as a tip? I'll say unto you, give me 42. So stupid. I say unto you, give me 4,200, that is. Oh, that's a new character I might have to introduce. The Southern Preacher. A little maybe I could do it as James Hetfield. They both, and nothing else matters. Yeah. Yeah. Cha. Everything he says is ja at the end of it. Kind of like a Southern preacher. Preacher. That would be funny to do a James Hetfield Southern preacher revival thing. Anyway, all eyes on Gavin. Apparently it was about a tiny Indian casino. And the accusations are that Gavin Newsom's camp, along with his wife, was trying to pressure this Indian casino group to donate $1 million or something. I forget the dollar amount, 100,000. I think it was $1 million to the wife's fake charity so that they could money launder that and keep the money flowing. So then he opposed the casino being built. And so then all these accusations, something like that. We'll see as the reports come out. We'll just keep our eye on that story. Gunther Eagleman says, what 85% of all Americans would like to hear John Thune say? Here's some AI.
Will be resigning, effective immediately.
Hold on, it should get the very beginning.
I will be resigning, effective immediately. I have no idea how to lead. I will be resigning, effective immediately. I have no idea how to lead.
Yeah. But the one weird thing is that President Trump doesn't seem mad enough about it. Hey, I was pretty close. I was pretty close on that spot price of gold. I didn't look it up, but okay, 43.50, and then they're up a little bit because the Strait of Hormuz is open now. Stocks are up, gold is up, crypto is up, silver's up. Silver up to 70 again. Needs to get back to, got to get that at, that needs to go a lot higher. Isn't it that silver's supposed to be 1/10 of gold? I mean, not exactly, but sort of. And 1/10 of 43.50 would be 430. I mean, roughly. Okay, that was pretty good though. I'm pretty happy. I was close. I was close. Yeah, that's got to be AI. Look, Leader Thune's been a stalwart here in the Senate for the Republican Party for a long time. Anyway, we just gotta keep Leader Thune where he is and block the Trump agenda. Now, has Mitch McConnell been hospitalized? I covered that the other. I shared that somewhere, but I don't think it made it onto the show. But since we're talking about him, yes, hospitalized on Sunday the 14th. No information publicly disclosed. Fully engaged with staff. Oh, I'm sure. So why can't he just He's retiring at the end of his term in 2027. Can't you just retire now? Hospitalized in February of 26, 8 days with flu-like symptoms. 24 and 23 fell, resulting in concussion and broken ribs and other minor injuries. Or did somebody send him a message to do the deep state bidding? And then in 23, notable freezing episodes during his press appearances. All right, so Carl Benjamin says, I don't know if you follow Carl Benjamin, it's supposed to be 1/16th. It's supposed to be 1/16th, or it is 1/16th. Yeah, Glitch McConnell. Ortho says silver's being kept down for the military-industrial complex. That's what I'm saying. It's so necessary. Why isn't it higher? Yeah, fully engaged per staff. I call BS. Somebody talking about my staff. No, Billy, go sit down. Nah, all right. So Carl Benjamin says breaking. Breaking. I love that this is breaking. The American online right has discovered reasonable black men and are enjoying memes about him. The left will never recover from this. Reasonable black men. He was a silk weaver resident in Southwark, London in the late 16th century. He was among the earliest people of African heritage working as independent business owners in London in that era. Do I click the link and read a few of these? Pericles says, yeah, so it's like a silk weaver and a business owner. Fancily dressed. Oh, this McDonald's is out of sweet and sour sauce? No need to cause a scene. I'll just dip my McNuggets in honey mustard instead. Reasonable Blackman. Oh, I was driving too fast, officer. I'm terribly sorry. Here's my license and registration. Reasonable Blackman. I should purchase a belt for these trousers. I may or may not have spent 10, 15 minutes going through these. They just keep going. You know, for years and years, it was anti-America, hate America. America had an original sin. There's no climbing up out of this. It's everything's bad. America's an awful place, and it's been racist, and it will always be racist. And I think this chair is sinking. I wonder if this thing is toast. It has to be, because I haven't lowered it once. I might need a new chair for tomorrow's episode. But you have changed the conversations, watching a Louder with Crowder, and they were talking about the fatigue. You know the phrase, the fatigue? That's a shortening of the black fatigue. It's not a fatigue with black people. It's a fatigue with criminal, violent, crazy, destructive segments within the black community. What is it? 13% of America's population committing 55% of our country's murders. There's a fatigue factor. What are you doing? Where is your respect for human life? Oh, I got a story about that coming up on X. I'm going to scroll to in just a second here. Go into a Facebook meetup, a Facebook marketplace meetup. Some black dude shoots a white woman in the head after he tried to steal the watch. As she was running away from him, he said, I'm going to shoot her in the back of the head. Yeah, there's a fatigue. This conversation with Kaepernick and Nike and ESPN and the Democrat Party nonstop, telling us, us Americans, us America, or Republicans, or white people, how evil we are. Regardless of whether we've actually done anything bad or not, we've been taking it in from our teachers, the lying legacy media, and the Democrat politicians for 2 decades under Obama. Absolutely. I mean, this shit was going on in the 90s. But now the conversation has shifted, just like the UFC event has shifted what the events that happen on the White House lawn. Well, you could have dudes with breast implants exposing themselves on the White House lawn, or a cage match, a showing of masculinity, of toughness, of fight, of spirit, of focus, of dedication, of training, of mental fortitude. So now, discuss the fatigue. What are these teen takeovers? Okay, whether you're looking at Baltimore or Los Angeles or Houston, and every weekend you can see it, hundreds, if not thousands, of primarily black youth are showing up at the same exact place, organized on social media to terrorize, to destroy, to steal, to fight. Not in a sanctioned way. I can feel my chair going down. I think it's when I rock back and forth on it. I think I felt it. That's a fatigue. You want to have a conversation? Yeah, there is a growing fatigue of just lawless, reckless, violent, unnecessary. You know, everybody, look, fun is fun. I support fun completely. Just not chaos the way that we've seen. So this meme, a real person that lived, a reasonable black man. Oh my Lord. But there's several different funny parts. It's taking the worst that the internet has to offer and then portraying that situation as something this guy would never do. This is reasonable black men. Shouldn't everyone be reasonable? Shouldn't everyone be like reasonable black men? Okay, I'm just scrolling. None of these are jumping out of me. Guys, can we keep the noise down? Other people are trying to watch this movie. Reasonable. It just goes on and on. Oh, where are my manners? Let me call you back. I'm so sorry, officer. License, and what was the other thing? This goes on and on. Do yourself a favor and just type that in and just start reading some. I didn't have a bunch prepared. Didn't even really intend to do a segment on it. There's multiple layers of why this is funny. And I think primarily amongst all of them, well, there's 2 things. Pointing out the lies, the perpetual victim narrative that BLM has been pushing on Americans and aimed like an arrow, launched at white people, launched at Americans for 2 decades, probably 4 decades. Based on incorrect data, wildly misrepresenting reality. There's 100 reasons why what's been happening has been unfair, uncool, unneeded, unnecessary, unhelpful, completely detrimental, poison, really, poisonous ideology. But just the fact that it's set in the 1600s and you have to talk about pantaloons and trousers, and you're speaking with the manners of somebody who is a silk dealer in 16th century London. It's a bit of a perfect storm for comedy. So anyway, that's out there, says Carl Benjamin. He says the left will never recover from this. Okay, this is... And I asked Grok, I'm like, is this a real dude who lived in the late 16th century? Yep. Real historical figure from the late 1570s to 1590s. He was a blackamoor, married with children, one of the earliest documented free black craftsmen in England. This is the one that I shared. Oh, my team won the sport final. I shall now go to my local tavern and celebrate peacefully with my friends. Played you that video of the San Antonio Spurs guy. It was like 100-on-1, and he was in a Spurs jersey, and dude was just a tank wrapped in a cannonball, but didn't stop people running from behind with cheap shots trying to take him down. And then, of course, the scenes of destroying cars, vandalizing property, setting things on fire, and fighting in New York after the Knicks won. On the heels of that was a pretty good one to share. Anyway, so this is a huge story. I can't believe it took me this long to get to it, but there was a plot. Well, I mentioned it. There was a plot to attack the UFC Freedom 250. Let's take a look.
Got a potential nightmare scenario stopped in its tracks. The FBI and its law enforcement partners disrupting an alleged plot targeting this past weekend's UFC Freedom 250 event. Officials say nearly 24 plotters were identified, with 5 people now in custody. The investigation stretching across at least a dozen FBI field offices. Chris Wecker, former FBI assistant director, with us now, and sir, good day to you. We're told that one person was picked up in Cincinnati. Don't have any identifications or any other locations. What do you make of this thus far?
Yeah, so we do know about 5 arrests. Allegedly, there are 23 or so plotters here. So we probably won't get more details, because they're conducting operations as we speak involving those 20 plus other co-conspirators. So we'll see how, these 4 or 5 will have to have their first appearance within 48 hours, at which time the arrest warrant affidavit will have to be unsealed, and then we'll have some real details about how this got started. It was a lightning operation. The FBI apparently got information on June 10th, and between now and those 3 or 5 days there, they did a multi-field office investigation across the country and identified the other plotters. We'll see how many of them were actually involved and how much real capability was there. There are a lot of issues that'll be accompanying this prosecution. Will all 23 be arrested? Conspiracy is really punished the conspiracy and the agreement to commit the crime. So all 23 don't have to do anything. They need at least, or they have to be a part of the agreement, but they only need one overt act towards commission of the crime. So it's going to get interesting over the next couple of days. But the scariest part of this really is the drones. We just don't have an answer to drones in our domestic environment here.
Right.
And
we got to be really careful about this.
And that type of attack is my greatest fear.
And that's what they're developing and deploying and testing out in Ukraine like crazy. Democrats keep parroting this lie. Nick Sorter says that the organizer of the terror plot against President Trump at UFC Freedom 250 was aiming to overthrow Trump based on deep involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Nick Sorter says Democrats keep parroting this lie, knowing it will encourage crazies to kill Trump and it's evil. There you go. Tyson Proper in Ohio. Brian Omar Roa, Michael Allen Thomas in California, charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Bill Malugin. He believes the U.S. government, run by elites who sacrifice and eat children, had involvement with Jeffrey Epstein or protected by President Trump. Investigators took screenshots of his Signal chats in which details of the plot were discussed, and maps of the UFC event were shown with suggestions on where snipers should be placed. Feds also recovered rifles and ammo. They're in custody. No foreign nexus believed to be at play. Kash Patel talking about this, thanking the rapid action of the FBI, their partners in the Department of Justice, in a multi-state operation. Multiple individuals now in custody, allegedly planned attacks were stopped cold. If you're an American and you want to report something suspicious, 1-800-CALL-FBI. Well, holy crap. That could have been not. That would have been awful. Hey, speaking of awful, person of interest. He's admitting to it. The guilty dude. Did you see the KKK burning cross thing that was found in Chicago? Did you know it was created by a socialist gay Asian or a Gaysian?
I don't want to wait until he may or may not get impeached. I want him gone right now.
On that video, are you threatening him?
No.
You say that you think that he should be brought to an end.
I said he deserves to stand trial to the American people. Some paraphrase, I guess. But
I think you use the word end.
That's what I mean by end. I mean, by end, I don't mean like a civil war, if that is the imagery that you're trying to imagine.
Lou says he built this cross after carrying wooden slats from his near West Side apartment to Grant Park last Tuesday afternoon. He showed the red ball cap that he put on the top beam and used lighter fluid and toilet paper to get it all going.
I put a red hat to signify the MAGA hat, the Make America Great Again hat. So that was, yeah, that's what I tied on top.
But that's not
Jussie Smollett.
Visible in the one video that was taken by a motorist.
Lou says he was protesting what he calls MAGA Christian nationalist supporters.
Anti-Christian.
And the Trump.
That's such a common theme.
Administration ruling class.
He's just scamming people. We're just scamming out of money, right? And I think that's a great reflection of how this country works right now.
Go figure. I don't know that he's a socialist or a gay. He appears to be an Asian. Not sure if he's a socialist, as End Wokeness says, but... Oh, Elon shared this too. We tweeted that out. I mean, I sort of do agree with him. Why does the burning cross have to be a KKK thing? Why does a certain mustache have to be a Shitler thing? Why? Because nobody could, it's so bad, nobody could ever do it. Madonna burned crosses in her Pepsi video, or the video at the time that she had the Pepsi deal, right? God, what was that tagline? The taste of the new generation? He's saying he hates Christians and he hates Trump, so he put a ball cap on a cross and burned it. Pretty sacrilegious. How the media would report it is, oh my God, there must be a KKK thing. I've lived my whole life and never met somebody that I've known was in a KKK. I might have met people in the KKK. I didn't even know it was a thing, like dinosaurs and leprechauns. Never met one, never saw one, not that I'm aware of. Did you ever meet an alien? Did you ever meet somebody who killed someone? I don't know. Not that I know of. I guess military members, but... Yeah. Person of interest. Person of interest. He's the person that did it. It's just every little thing you read can be tweaked. That's propaganda in play. Every little thing you read can be tweaked. Pizza Hut has been sold by Yum Brands for $2.7 billion. Wow. Okay, then. And that's now happening. Person of interest. Anyway, just everything about this is stupid. Remember, Jussie Smollett had two massive Nigerian bodybuilders wear a MAGA hat. Yeah. That's sort of what this feels like. Anyway, this is like the dumbest story I've seen in a while. Anyway, here's another dumb story as being reported how the Democrats want to do it. Although Trump does not look strong in that paused clip, but let's listen to what he has to say about this alleged deal with Iran.
But I will actually...
Okay, a little bit better there.
Actually, I'll not only release it, I'll probably have a press conference and read it to you.
He's talking about the details of the peace agreement.
Word by word, so that the press covers it accurately. Because it's a very important document, and unlike Obama, who could have destroyed the Middle East with a horrible JCPOA, it is the worst agreement. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. Mine is a wall against a nuclear weapon. I mean, I see these people say, but we already had one. That was the words. He paid a fortune for it. We paid nothing. But I'll not.
So, coming soon. By the way, J.D. Vance just went on The View. I don't have it in front of me, but I can do this.
Children, here's what I'd say. Do we know that during the last administration, we had tens of thousands of children who were sex trafficked by the cartels, who were brought into our country in profoundly dangerous and predatory conditions?
Let's talk about this administration.
But here's the point. Unless you enforce the border, you invite that kind of conduct. You think that our immigration policies are inhumane based on the reporting of one person with a political bias. What I'm telling you is that it's inhumane to allow cartels to sex traffic people across our border. And by the way,
anyway, geez, he's flanked by like 6 babbling yentas. I think that's what Corolla calls them. Yapping yentas or something. Yeah, you talk about the children. During the last administration, tens of thousands of children sex trafficked by the cartels. Unless you enforce the border, you're inviting that kind of conduct. They don't have an answer to that now, do they? No, they do not. No, they don't. Oh, this would be a good punk band name. Nigerian Gasians. That would be a good band name or an album name. BRICS News is reporting that Israel asked to review the U.S.-Iran peace deal and were reportedly denied. Wait a minute. I thought Trump was controlled by Netanyahu in Israel, and he's but is he a Putin puppet or an Israeli puppet? Or is he gone rogue? Or he's unaccountable? He's a dictator and he does what he wants, but the courts keep blocking him every week. But he does what he wants, except when the courts block him. And he's a Putin puppet, except that he's a Netanyahu puppet, except that. Okay. It's hard to keep up with all of the claims. I don't know. I don't know much more pointless than a weather report, but Tropical Cyclone 1 has been designated in the Gulf of America, and the National Hurricane Center will begin to issue advisories as the system triggers widespread flash flooding risks over southern Texas. They're showing Houston here in the radar. So stay safe out there, southern Texas. Tell your friends, beware. As if they didn't know, but you never know what they know. Stephen A. Smith from ESPN says, I can do a Stephen A. Smith too. I know I can. My chair is sinking. I can feel it. I don't know if there's any fixing this. Oh, now it's way low. I know I can do a Stephen A. Smith impression, but I need to listen to it. I've never done it. He says, gotta be honest, this UFC event at the White House looks spectacular. This is a big-time show. I'm not there, and we all know all the complaints folks had about the renovations at and around the White House, etc. But to be fair, this is some impressive stuff that I'm looking at. Props to UFC President Dana White and the show they've put on. Big time. It's big time, plain and simple. The Unhappy Hour Sports Show says it's objectively cool. It just is. It's so fun to look at. Yes, Dina pointing out that Obama's handle by the Secret Service was renegade. Yeah, it's like a traitor. And the people outraged about what that one guy said at the end of that one fight. He said, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right? There's this cartoon. Trans women are women, when they put colors on the beams of the White House. Well, if trans women are women and Michelle Obama is a real woman, I'm so mad. It's just an interesting side by side. And remember where this all stemmed from? It sort of started from this. Joan Rivers tells reporters that, well, here, let's just watch. This is the video YouTube has taken down over and over again. They don't want you to see this. And the question is, do you believe that Joan Rivers is cracking jokes? Do you get the impression that she's telling a joke here, or she's just caught in a candid moment being honest? She just officiated a gay wedding, and she's asked by somebody on camera a couple questions.
Ms. Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down. She's not laughing, didn't have like a setup to like deliver that as a punchline. She's just talking.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
I'm sorry, she's a what? She says, you know Michelle.
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my.
A transgender. Oh my God. She says, we all know, and it's okay. Just the way that she says this, I don't think she's joking.
Gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay.
It's okay. I don't think she's telling a joke here. That's different from me believing what she's saying, but I don't believe she's telling a joke.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender.
And by the way, this whole thing, like, you can't call, that's a slur. You said tranny. Literally, all you did was take something longer and shorten it. A transmission is a tranny. That's not a slur. It's a shortening of something. Anyway, sidebar issue.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay.
It's okay.
Welcome back.
You know, we've come a long way. There was a time where saying a statement like this could actually maybe get you killed, and now...
Michelle Obama is a man! Am I right, America?
Now it's announced, you know, into the entire world very proudly, and everyone cheers. I mean, look at this. It's a #1 story on X. Everyone is sharing the same thing, including myself here. Look at this. At Daily Loud, Libs of TikTok. It's everywhere. We've come a long way.
So if you weren't aware where this started, and then it was shortly after. Here, let's see. There's a claim that that's why I said Shadow of Ezra. I caught something that's not true. Joan Rivers' daughter believes Obama's killed her mother because she exposed Obama as a man. Michelle Obama as a man. At least asking Grok, Joan Rivers died in 2014 from complications, brain damage from lack of oxygen, during a routine throat procedure at a New York City clinic. Melissa Rivers sued the clinic and doctors for medical malpractice, called the death 100% preventable, and settled the case in 2016. Melissa received a handwritten condolence note from President Obama and the First Lady. She has never claimed or suggested the Obamas killed her mother. This is a baseless conspiracy theory pushed in memes and clickbait. So it should be important that we know that. Where do I stand on it? Yeah, it's irrelevant. it's an interesting claim, and the fact actually, what's the let's ask Grok. How much time in between Joan Rivers' death and when she said Michelle is a tranny? I believe it's like 5 weeks. That's my guess. 5 weeks. 60 to 65 days. July 1 to September 4. Complications after a routine medical procedure. 2 months. 64 days counting July 1 to September 4. So yeah, the fact that she was dead in a routine cosmetic neck procedure and they just decided I'm not going to give her oxygen. I mean, it's as believable as grabbing a girl and tossing her off a cliff without the bungee cord strapped on. You go, I'm sorry, what? How? The fact that she died or was killed, as some people claim, without evidence, right? Without evidence. Within 64 days, she was dead after saying that. That seems very suspicious. Yeah. Very weird. But anyway, that's what's going on, and we had to check that. We asked Grok, and no, Grok is saying no. Joan Rivers' daughter did not say that. Of course, there's this clip that I've done this deep dive a little bit before. I think when Obama says Michael
your
and
son Jack, who's deployed today.
Here, let me just ask Grok right now. Let's get this one right. Where's the Ask Grok button? Okay, how do I... Let's ask Grok. At Grok. Was Obama talking about his wife, Michelle, here? Or talking about a dude named Michael in the military? Yeah, all right. It's going to be a little tricky to get a reply. Without including the video this way, or without having to go, because sometimes it's not an immediate answer. He was talking about a dude named Michael, especially named Michael Mullen, the son of Admiral Mike Mullen. September 30, 2011 speech at a change of office ceremony for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff at Fort Myer, Virginia. Obama acknowledging the family of the outgoing chairman, Admiral... Okay, he's acknowledging the family of the outgoing chairman, Admiral Mike Mullen in the U.S. Navy. Most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah, Michael, and I also want to acknowledge your son, Jack, who's deployed today. All of you performed extraordinary service to our country. So when you see this clip, just trying to be accurate, just trying to be fair.
Distinguished again.
As this goes around, understand the context of this. But once again, it is sort of a perfect storm of, you know, all of these things adding together. Doesn't necessarily make it true. But you start to understand where some of the storylines are coming from.
Distinguished guests and men and women of the finest military in the world.
And far be it for me to defend this sack of shit, but honest is honest, and it's not honest that he screwed up and mentioned his wife here, Michael, instead of Michelle.
Most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah, Michael and I also want to acknowledge your son Jack, who's deployed today. All of you have performed extraordinary service to our country.
Okay. So anyway, that's that. All right, what else do we have? Yes, flash forward. Music. Anyway, I don't know what this is. Just be careful. Shrek 5 has been announced.
And a delusion. On a whirlwind. Okay, big.
If you're into that sort of thing. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't catch it, President Trump took off his Josh Hokett chain after the Michelle Obama comment.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America? Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Hokett.
He touches.
So as Hokett wraps up his interview, walks away, you can see the president there on the other side of the ring. He can be seen sort of half smiling as there's a mixture of cheers and
half smile, kind of like, and he takes it right off.
Booze. And when CNN asked about Hokett's comment, the White House refused to directly address the question. The UFC is commenting, though. CEO and President Dana White called it nasty and false and dismissed it as nonsense.
So there's that. This dude tried to buy a tobacco product in Texas, so he stabbed him.
Just want to remind everybody that Chud the Builder's bond is twice that amount, and Jake Lang's bond is twice that amount, and all he did was say words. This is nuts. These people are animals thinking they can just go there and take somebody's life because you're underage trying to buy tobacco and they refuse to sell it to you, so you think that's appropriate? What is the black community going to say when this guy's convicted? Are they going to say that the store clerk should have just gave him the tobacco or something? It's insane, man. Absolutely insane what is going on right now. And then you have these left-wing judges who want to go around and punish white people through bonds and, high bond rates, and then let these people have lower ones when they've committed worse crimes. It's absolutely nuts. Just want to remind everybody that Chud the Builder's bond is twice that amount. And
so there's that. Derek Evans says this man serving life in prison. Well, just listen to it.
I don't know what he did to originally get convicted and get thrown into prison. I mean, I know what it says, but I don't know the circumstances. I mean, I don't know who this man is, but I'll just say...
executed 3 pedos in one day.
How can I say this on this platform? We'll just say he's seems to be making good use of his time in prison. I don't know what...
This story's been going around. I got to learn more about it. Calling on the death penalty for Henry Nowak's killer in the UK. Child predator in California finally caught after a 10-year nightmare for the Ramirez family, including a wrongful release by a judge. Jeez. Now, hold on. I shared a couple other stories. Where did those go? Check out yesterday's show here. UFC 250 birthday party success. Knicks and Hurricanes win titles and Iran war over ? Mike Netter says 7,600 voters have been registered at LA homeless shelters and service centers. Records showing hundreds tied to addresses that offer no overnight accommodations. So how can you live there? So we'll see how that shakes out. Difference between Japanese fans and New York Knicks fans.
And Knicks fans.
Cleaning up and causing chaos. Oh, it's a team takeover.
Knicks fans trashing everything. Burning things down. Destroying school buses, as we saw the other day. Lighting them on fire. And then we've got the Japanese fans
cleaning it up.
who are literally cleaning up garbage on their way out.
So, that's where some of those comparisons are coming in. Norwegian crown princess's son found guilty of 2 counts of R and jailed for 4 years. Mike Brown, former Cavaliers head coach, is an NBA champion, first time. Congratulations to him. Now, where is the awful, awful story I wanted to tell you? I'm ready to just not tell you, unless I scrolled past it real fast. That's weird. I know I shared this. There's a story about a former teacher and a partner of his. These 2 dudes adopted a little infant. Do you know where this is going? I'm going to spare you that story for now. I know I hit retweet. It should have been out there. Not sure where it went. Just checking for it. Should have been there. Not there. It's just a story of atrocious abuse, and it makes you question who we're adopting kids out to. Oh, good Lord. Not going to tell you about that story. There were a couple other stories, too. Jelly Roll is filed for divorce. That story didn't show up. Why did none of these stories show up in my profile? Do I have to hit refresh or something? Oh, okay. I guess that is what happened. I needed to refresh it for some reason. I knew I had these stories. I'm just going to give you the brief overview, that awful one. So here's a Houston father of 5 gunned down after rushing to help his son during a truck robbery. The accused shooter is a repeat offender whose criminal history included multiple lenient sentences, raising new questions about accountability. Yeah, shocking. MP Max Wilkinson says X is a problem due to the ability for citizens to get their voice against the unwanted immigration invasion of their nation heard. This is why the UK is cracking down on social media companies.
We obviously have social media, which is a massive problem at the moment for engagement. I'm tempted to say, how you make your voice heard as a citizen in 2025 in the UK. Set up an X account and start writing some sort of nativist content, and it will go around the world really, really quickly. Your voice will be heard as quickly as you want it to be.
By the way, follow us on X at American_media_.
In a way that I would be comfortable with, and I would suggest probably not in a way that most people on the panel this evening would be comfortable with either. But that is a really easy way to get your voice heard. Get some content about, how you think immigration's too high, or immigration is the big thing that's tearing the country apart, etc. And that goes around the world because social media run by the world's richest man, X, is now making sure that you can have your voice heard in a really easy way that you couldn't in the past.
And now they're cracking down on it because it was effective. Daily Caller shows DC Council candidate. She'd like to introduce herself.
My name is Laniqua Dominique Jenkins. Yes, Laniqua Dominique is one first name. I say that because I believe in showing up honestly and authentically, and that starts with having people say your name and or your pronouns. I've served in several capacities.
And your pronouns. We're not doing that.
I've been an ANC commissioner. I've been a business owner for over a decade in the District of Columbia. I've worked for former and current council members.
Oh, okay. Pronounce that for me one more time if you become a relevant national figure. How do I pronounce it?
My name is Laniqua Dominique Jenkins.
Laniqua Dominique with an apostrophe. All right, just in case you were curious about that. Piers Morgan says, against all the early odds in this war, Zelensky's got Putin on the run. Amazing. Jay in Kiev says a humiliating morning for the Russian dictator as the largest refinery in Moscow and one of the largest in Russia now burns after a barrage of Ukrainian drones bypassed the country's most protected airspace. Processing 12.8 million tons per year, 250,000 barrels per day, this refinery supplies roughly 40% of the fuel consumed in Moscow and the surrounding region. Oh, great. Another fuel shortage crisis to drive prices. Great.
либо по садоводу, либо по нефтеперерабатывающему. В итоге
Это
попали,
бато,
судя
это
по
видишь,
всему, что это за садоводом.
Okay. All right, something to keep your eye on. Pierce Morgan. Liberal children are leading protest in Los Angeles against fascism at Elon Musk's Tesla restaurant. So stupid. Kids throwing heavy profanity.
You racist, fascist, fuck! You're supporting a pedophile who wants to rape children! What's in the Epstein file? And it's a Nazi! Hey, nice door stopper! Don't kill yourself. Oh, look at you! Oh, look at you! You're so fucking tough. You can't 1% more Nazi eating those fucking Tesla fries. When you eat those Tesla fries, innocent children die! Hey, come down! I want to talk to you! Come down and talk to us! And stop filming the fucking kids! Jump! 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 Jump!
Child abuse or...
Oh, really? These fucking folks, you should be so ashamed of yourself, you fucking bitch! Oh my god! Oh, you want to... You're not gonna fucking serve us out with fucking veal on! You're not gonna be in this threesome, so I'm gonna go fucking leave! Inside your fucking wiener truck!
Way cooler than I was.
Oh my God.
You're supporting a pedophile!
Anyway, I think you get it. So there's that. Encouraging people to jump off the building and K themselves. Okay, let's check in on the Denver. I'm so glad I hit refresh. I had like so many, like 5 or 10 really weird, unique, interesting stories. Denver Public Schools Board votes unanimously to dismiss LGB, etc. teacher Jennifer Honka after she reportedly made female students kiss each other and graded them on it.
I move that the board hereby accepts both the evidentiary and ultimate findings of fact of the hearing officer, the recommendation of the hearing officer that Ms. Jennifer Honka be dismissed on the grounds of incompetence and neglect of duty, and that the board enter its written order as required by TACTA that Ms. Honka be dismissed with immediate effect.
Is there a second?
All right, I got it, but I wanted to read details of the case. Here, I'm going to ask Grok. Explain exactly what this teacher did. Anyway, Libs of TikTok's telling you what the teacher did. Dinesh D'Souza pointing this out. New York Post says SPLC boss funneled $1.2 million to her lover in a neo-Nazi group. By the way, I mean, who hasn't done that a couple of times, right? I mean, that's no big deal. I don't know what we're even talking about. Oh, the two also even had joint banking accounts. So, yeah. Yeah, you can't run from. I didn't even know who I didn't know. I didn't really know. How could I have known? Okay. 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 Dinesh D'Souza says, I've always maintained that there is an intimate connection, ideological and temperamental, between Nazism and the political left. Yeah, they're socialists. They are the political left. His book, The Big Lie, is missing the great romance detail below, but it elaborates the broader picture. Keir Starmer, Basil the Great says, have you ever seen someone get so excited about banning kids from using YouTube? He's actually giddy with glee. He's a complete sociopath. Keir Starmer.
Now, turning to social media, and can I say how great it is to see so many people here who played such a key role in the consultation. And, you know, some people are dismissive of processes like this, but policy making that doesn't listen very carefully to the voices of those it seeks to serve, that is not how this government carries out its business. And so I just want to thank you for the role that you have all played. And indeed, I want to thank all the people who have campaigned so courageously on this issue, including those who have done so after suffering terrible tragedy or loss. Thank you.
What a dope. England, come on now. Here's J.D. Vance talking about the deal with Iran.
And I'd ask the president, the former president, I'd say, Obama, why in the world, if it's the same thing, why is it that the Gulf Arabs hated your deal and they love our deal? They are the ones who are in the region. They know what it means to enrich the worst terrorist regime in the world. And they also know what it means to turn over a new leaf and to go to a different future. So I think President Obama, he should acknowledge that the people who are closest to this, they love the Trump deal. They hate the Obama deal. And that's maybe the biggest endorsement of this plan.
Okay. Grok replied, Jennifer Honka, French teacher at French. That's so on the nose. French teacher at Denver's Northeast Early College assigned graded skits where female students performed same-gender kissing scenes, scripted kissing moments in scenarios like the boring kiss. Students felt pressured by the grading weight and her posted rule. The answer is always yes. Oh, that's very rapey too. She offered alternatives like fist bumps or pretending. Okay. An administrative law judge ruled that the scripts forced public consent negotiations on a personal sexualized activity and found poor judgment in personal disclosures too. Recommended firing for incompetence, neglect of duty. Board voted 7-0 to dismiss her. No physical force proven. I wanted the backstory there. Mississippi cop shoots a toddler in a Walmart parking lot during a shoplifting case. Mom and the aunt were stealing diapers, allegedly. It just sort of shows a little bit of those. No volume, so I can't give you any more details. Scott Jennings doing it again. Best thing on CNN.
But I'll tell you who is a complete piece of shit.
Now, I'll tell you who's a complete piece of shit. I like that Scott Jennings. He's good, isn't he? Like, CNN have realised the only person on CNN that's any good is the person that doesn't agree with or like CNN.
I'm going to tell you right now.
There have been a lot of swear words at this table
Tim
today.
Walz,
Okay.
the governor of Minnesota, holding up a phone in front of a rally saying, well, we thought we were going to wake up and find out the president had died. Someday it'll happen. Someday it'll happen. I used to say he was the biggest buffoon in American politics, but it's worse now. No political official, no elected official should be walking around saying, well, I'm hoping we wake up one day and the president of the United States has died. Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Ah, there you go. Because also, like, sometimes the presidents of the United States do die, don't they? Like,
I just looked this up. Do you know how many presidents were assassinated and how many presidents died while in office that weren't assassinated? Can you tell me in the chat?
Get shot.
How many natural causes? How many assassination?
And stuff and get shot at.
I just looked it up. Forbes names the native of Slovenia, Melania Trump, the first naturalized citizen to serve as First Lady of the United States, as America's most successful living immigrant on the Forbes Top 250 list. She's featured on it. I don't know if she's number one, but she's featured. All right, there's the attack. I shared this yesterday. This is something nice. I guess that's the opposite of the terrible story. All right, so here's the story. If you want to press mute for 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Jamie Varley and John McGowan Fazakerley Two men who were found guilty in the UK of emming and ahring an 11-month-old baby that they adopted together. Evidence showed that the baby suffered more than 40 injuries, including damage via stuff that I don't want to talk about.
He doesn't even crawl, stand up because of his arm. This is Jamie Varley in what appears to be deep distress, struggling to come to terms with the death of his adopted son, who was just 13 months old. He just needs to go back in there and make him better. No, I can't do I've done this. It's my fault I left him. He told officers the baby had accidentally drowned in the bath, but today a jury has concluded that this was a lie, and that Varley had killed the boy he was entrusted to care for after months of sexual and physical abuse. Preston Davey was taken into care shortly after he was born. He was described as happy, healthy, and bubbly. He was a
happy, healthy, bubbly baby. Brutalized by these two guys. It churns the stomach.
Adopted by Jamie Varley and John McGowan for Zachary when he was 9 months old. The court heard how in the 4 months he spent with the couple, he was indecently filmed and photographed, as well as being sexually abused and physically assaulted, suffering 40 traumatic injuries. This footage shows Varley shouting at Preston to keep him awake. The prosecution described this as an act of abuse. Preston had been taken to hospital 3 times while in the couple's care. During one of those visits, Varley explained bruises on Preston's forehead with this video of a toy box falling on his head. The prosecution said the clip was a deliberate attempt to mislead medics, with the footage filmed 12 days before the baby was taken to A&E. The couple rushed Preston to hospital one final time in July 2023. He'd suffered a cardiac arrest after an alleged sexual assault by Varley. A post-mortem examination found he'd either been smothered or had objects inserted into his mouth. This is Varley caught on police body-worn video, saying what happened was an accident. Varley and McGowan for Zachary were arrested that night. Over the course of their police interviews, they both refused to take responsibility for what happened to the boy they named Elijah.
Have you done anything to cause Elijah's death?
No.
Has John?
No.
As far as you're aware?
No, as far as I'm aware, no, and we would never do that.
As far as we can see, Elijah, when he came into your care, was a healthy baby with no injuries.
We have not caused Elijah's death.
The death of a child is always distressing, but the circumstances in which poor Preston Davey found himself over that 4-month reign of terror is truly horrific. Jamie Varley has treated Preston as a plaything, as his plaything, as his property. Jamie Varley and John McGowan for Zachary went through the adoption process, went through the real stringent selection procedures that look at every facet of their lives. I'm presented as a young, professional, happy, solid, safe couple, but the reality was rather different.
Carol Homden is the chief executive of a children's charity who run an adoption agency. She says cases like this are rare and should always lead to lessons being learned.
It is a rigorous process, and it's rightly a rigorous process, because this is a service for our most vulnerable children. There are hundreds and thousands of children who enter care for their own protection each year. And
yeah. Many of you have met, some of you have met Izzy. Some of you know Azrael. He's in basic training right now, entering the Air Force. He's my neighbor at 10. One of his family members one day asked me, because I sort of met him at 5. And from 5 to 10, he'd always be outside. And it's like, all right, I'll throw the baseball, I'll throw the football. Here, come over here. Let me show you how to garden. Hey, I'm working on something. You want to paint? You want to use this power tool? You want to learn how to do things? Watch me do it. Here, do it. You're like, power tools for a, you're like, yeah, you got to supervise and show them. Here's how you protect your eyes. Here's how you watch your this and that. Here's how are you going to learn how to do things if you're not shown how to do it? But yeah, one of his family members said to me one day, like, if anything ever happens to me, will you take care of Israel? I said, sure. And then at 10 years old, that family member passed away and couldn't restart her heart. And then this kid was just going to get thrown into child family services. He was just going to get thrown into East LA. And I'm like, oh, dear God, no. The horror stories of people in protective care. Yeah, it also attracts the monsters, the wolves in sheep's clothing. Oh, we'd love to adopt this little baby boy so we could do whatever we want to him. Except in East LA, it would have been a little different, man. You know what I mean, man? Yeah. The most needy kids being put in the worst circumstances. I was like, nah, I'll take him. Izzy, are you good with that? Yeah. I mean, he was like, I was like a dad to him. He was like a kid to me. I'm like, he's here. I know him well, and we're gonna get you through this. We're gonna get you to graduate this year of school and move on to the next thing. So yeah, stories like this, capital punishment, absolutely. Cletus says, is that a Memento shirt? This is a Atlas Shrugged shirt. Ayn Rand, who is John Galt? Who is John Galt? Have you read it? But I did bring up Memento a couple of days ago. Influential movie for sure. Good movie.
Vast majority of those are cared for safely and well by the carers who support them. It isn't possible to manage out every single risk, however hard we try, and we must never be complacent.
The case has raised questions about the decision to place Preston with the couple and if any opportunities to protect him were missed. Oldham Council will now resume a serious case review, looking into what happened. At just 13 months old, Preston should have been safe.
Man.
Instead, he lived through months of abuse, killed by a man who was meant to care for him.
High school teacher Jamie Varley. Yeah, be wary of teachers and coaches and people that want to hang around kids. High school teacher Jamie Varley, 37, guilty of the murder of adopted 13-month-old Preston Davey. His partner, John McGowan Fazakerley, 32, convicted of allowing the death of the child. Terrible accent. Sky News. Okay, so there's that. Couple more quick hit stories. This was the Facebook story. Going on Marketplace to pick something up.
Stemmed from a Facebook Marketplace deal gone wrong.
So 18-year-old John Harrison Ford is charged with 2 counts of attempted murder.
I just brought up Harrison Ford because William Henry Harrison was one of the presidents that passed away. 4 presidents have been assassinated and 4 have died in office. I think it was William Henry Harrison had only been there for like a month.
1 count of armed robbery.
Yeah, we have his mugshot. We want to show you there. You see him facing 2 charges. Now we can say he's facing those charges. These are not preliminary. He was just charged minutes ago in a St. Joseph County courtroom. And this happened Wednesday night in the 2600 block of MacArthur Avenue. We took you there on scene. You see it here. According to police, video shows the teen shooting the woman who is still in critical condition tonight. The disturbing report from this probable cause affidavit, it goes into detail here. Police say she was shot in the head, and this came after the victim's son was trying to sell a watch to the suspect.
The son told police Ford then brandished a gun, telling him he needed that watch, and tried snatching him. That's when the victim, the son's mother, got in between the two and shots were fired. Ford admitted to police he shot the gun twice and then ran away.
So stupid. So unnecessary. Hey, what's up, McCormick over there in Rumble? Best wishes to Izzy in boot camp. Absolutely. Absolutely. Doing the letter thing. They have to read the letters going in and the letters going out. And it's very kind of like prison. Hey, Mr. Ben, you want to come over? Hi. You want to come up, say hi to everybody? Come here. Oh, well, come this way. Oh, you just want to meow over there? Okay. McCormick says, can't wait for the football show. Yes, yes, yes. We'll see what his schedule's like when he's in the service. You never know. Oh, he's meowing from that other room. Jeez, you can hear that? Never trust anyone. Keep your eyes peeled. Hey, I meet up with people, whether it's, where's Ortho? Ortho, you got to say it. Where's Ortho? You ready for your catchphrase? We'll have to put that on some merch, some TNAM merch. Hey, Mr. Ben. Bean. Marion says meow to you. He walked right here. I was going to pick him up and put him up, but he wasn't finding it. Marion says, and another special place in hell for that guy that abused, those two people that abused that kid, tortured him. And yep. Oh, so here's a good baby story. I think I played this the other day, but I'll show you it again. The opposite of getting a tiny little infant and abusing him. Your daughter is born into Nick's greatness.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Day you're born.
2, 1, 0. Knicks are NBA champions. Woohoo!
Hold her head.
Oh!
Your head. Don't spike her like a football.
Say it.
NBA champions. Look at this. Look at this. Remember this. Remember this.
Remember this.
You are a champion baby. 7, 6, 5.
There. We had to balance that awful story out with something nice.
Stemmed from a Facebook.
If you weren't aware of this, Texas Tech quarterback Brandon Sorsby is now planning to enter the NFL. Supplemental draft amid an ongoing legal battle over his NCAA eligibility after admitting to betting on sports. The supplemental draft is a separate draft for players who become eligible after the regular NFL draft has already taken place. Yeah, I wonder if I should just do like a weekly sports show. I used to do the Unhappy Hour every Friday, after the work week, like maybe 5 o'clock, 5 or 6 o'clock. I'm trying to remember exactly, but it was like, it's happy hour at the end of a long week, and we do the Agree to Disagree show and the Unhappy Hour the same day. But B. McCormick, stick around. We'll do some football. We'll keep it going. We will keep it going. So if a team takes Brendan Sorsby in round 2 of the supplemental draft, they're going to lose their 2027 second-round pick. So we'll see how that goes. The Browns are looking for a quarterback. Are we going to end up with this guy? He's considered one of the top draft choices. Supplemental draft set for next month. I mean, that could be a franchise quarterback with a gambling problem. There's Ortho. Never leave your cave without your club. Well said. Every show we could do this. Just months after walking the Grammys and red carpet hand in hand, celebrating a major win together, Jelly Roll files for divorce from his wife, Bunny XO. Filed in Tennessee, listing May 9th as the date of separation and citing irreconcilable differences. They married in a whirlwind Vegas ceremony in 2016 and have been open about the highs and lows of their relationship. Now one of country music's most recognizable couples appears headed for a split. Homeland Security says we will not...
ICE protests in Southwest Portland.
Hold on, let's listen.
Since June, nearly 24 people have been arrested on charges connected to ICE protests in southwest Portland. The latest, 24-year-old Jacob Hoops, a Reed College graduate. FBI investigators say Hoops threw a rock and hit an ICE officer in the head, then later used a stop sign to damage the ICE building. Since June.
Yeah, look at that. Sentenced to federal prison after this. Good. Assholes. Homeland Security says we will not tolerate violent rioters attacking law enforcement. If you assault a law enforcement officer, you'll face the full weight of justice. Thank you, FBI, Justice Department, and ICE. Steve Hilton running for California governor. You know, you heard about the fire problem in California, but what about the water problem? This has been going on forever, and it's unacceptable.
So today we're going to show you what's going on with this unbelievable, disgusting scandal that's been going on for 35 years here in San Diego, right at the border, the Tijuana River. That is Tijuana. See that big Mexican flag there? That's the other side of the border. If you look around here, you can actually see the border wall. Everything you see on that hill, that is Mexico. Just here, you see a concrete channel. That is the Tijuana River. The water that's flowing there, that is raw sewage, human sewage from Mexico coming into our country, our state, and then it's flowing out into the ocean. And 13 miles up the coast, you got Coronado, the Navy SEALs Elite Training Center. Our Navy SEALs are swimming in raw sewage from Mexico.
Why are we tolerating this?
Signs all in this area called Stop the Stink. Most people, when they come here, they wear masks. They gave us a mask to wear. It's not just that you can smell it. You can kind of taste it. You can taste the chemicals. You see... See that foam there, that white foam? Those are forever chemicals because it's not just human sewage, it's also toxic waste from industrial plants in Mexico. This goes into the air. There's testing facilities there. See those white tents? They say that the level of toxic chemicals in the air, thousands of times what is the safe level. It is just an absolute disgrace. Border Patrol agents, I mean, we've seen it when they open their shirts. They've got rashes on their body just from operating here. Their boots are melting. To think that this is America. You've got people living around here. They can't open their windows.
Yeah, you need someone like Steve Hilton to get in office and fix some of these problems. Gavin Newsom's too busy stealing from you. And Javier, Becerra, whatever you want to call him, he ain't it.
Because of all the toxic air that comes in. It's trying to grow produce. You've got ranches. This is a laugh. Tijuana River Valley Regional Park Bird and Butterfly Garden. I don't think anyone's going to come here for the beautiful bird and butterfly experience. You talk to the people here, Democrats, Republicans, the local mayors and city councilors all say the same thing. The starting point for fixing it is for the governor of California to declare a state of emergency. If this isn't an emergency, I don't know what is. And he won't do it. Gavin Newsom won't do it. That is my commitment. I will, on day one, declare a state of emergency for this outrageous situation. Raw, untreated sewage and toxic chemicals from Mexico flowing into our state. It has got to stop.
You got to vote for Steve Hilton. Please. I do care for California still. Speaking of care, Northport is going to honor the veterans, local veterans they care about. But there's going to be a huge outrage from a group about that.
We love and support our vets, but the Hometown Heroes program was apparently given the rights to these lampposts from May to November, which is the entire outdoor season. That doesn't leave room for other community members. We love and support
They want the rainbow flags up. Always. Okay. That was just a lot of strange stories today. Some blood boiling, some funny, some confusing, some heartbreaking, some hilarious, some thought provoking. That's why we're trash pandas. We knock over the lid to the garbage can and you never know what you're going to get. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. From then on, if I had anywhere to go, I was running. Maybe you should go home to Greenbow, Alabama. Haven't watched Forrest Gump in a while. Great movie. Yeah, Steven Spencer. Yeah, vote in, write in Spencer Pratt if you have to. If you have to. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you joining us. We'll be back tomorrow at noon on the TNAM Daily Show. Hit the thumbs up button, hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with a friend. Please consider supporting independent media, independent journalism, finding, curating interesting stories for you. You can support us on Patreon at The New American Media, Rumble and YouTube. Subscribe and just drop a $5 or more donation. You set it and forget it on the first of the month, like Bone Thugs and Harmony sang about. You just drop a 5 spot or a 50 spot or something into the tank, and it helps keep the lights on here at this bar. You can do Rumble Rant tips, Super Chat tips, Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. One of these days, maybe I'll get some sponsors. We'll see about that. But for now, that is the way that we run that parallel Route 66. Hang on, I'm going to ask, because this is an ongoing question. Jamie would have had this figured out for me. What runs parallel? I think it's the Route 40 to Route 66. Interstate 40, the 40, I think. Interstate 40 is the main highway that runs parallel to much of historic Route 66, especially across the western half of the country. Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, into California. Oh man, I've done that trip a few times. That is for sure. So thank you all for being here. Share this show with a friend. Here's your homework. Here is your mission, should you choose to accept it. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Crunch. Share the show with somebody and invite them to follow us in all the places. We're trying to grow, and your grassroots support will help us. I know there's some platforms that feel pointless to even be on, but we're doing what we know how to do. And so for now, signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.